Morgan, what do you guys hope to build off the Winnipeg game tonight?
Yeah, it's obviously an important road trip for us, so we're happy with the way we started. This is a different team with different challenges here tonight, so it's important that our group's ready to go.
The power plays clicking yesterday. Some of the guys were talking about the key to it is using your intuition on top of whatever you've been practicing, but just communicating and using your skill.
Yeah, I think it's a mix. Obviously, you want structure. You want to be on the same page. You want to be able to communicate, your group ideas in terms of structure and things. But ultimately, once you get rolling around and you start, shooting the puck, having to go get rebounds, having to recover pucks, you end up in different spots, and you have to be able to improvise a little bit. And that's when you just get, comfortable playing with one another. And oftentimes that's when a lot of good stuff can happen. But it's important that you're on the same page. And you go out there with a purpose and structure.
Phil Kessel's going to tie the Ironman record tonight. But that must be kind of cool for you, the fact that you get to be in this game.
Yeah, it's cool. He's a great player who's had a great career. A lot goes into obviously doing what he's been able to do. Lots of hard work. Obviously lots of games, lots of travel, lots of things have to go your way in order to get to where he is now. Good for him. But ultimately, our team's going to be focused on winning the game. But it's cool to be a part of it. We're happy for him.
Phil's a relatively quiet guy with the media, but anybody that knows him kind of behind the scenes just raves about how great of a personality he is. He's misconstrued a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's pretty well known at this point. He's got a great personality and a good sense of humor. He's had a great career, so he's got lots going for him. And like I said, we're happy for him that he's going to get this milestone here tonight. For us, we're going to focus on trying to win the game.
What have you learned about Victor Mentain the time that he's been here?
Yeah, he's been great. He came in, I thought he had a really good camp. Obviously got hit with that puck and kind of got injured for a couple days, but beyond that, I thought he was outstanding. He can skate very well, as you've seen the last couple of nights, and he's been a really good addition to our back end.
When someone new comes into the lineup like that, do you usually just reach out and get pointers, or is there enough of a leadership group there, like with guys like Gia, that kind of help in that regard?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much pointers. I think as a group, you're all just trying to get on the same page. You spend training camp learning more about structure, learning more about how you want to play certain situations. So you're all kind of in it together. And, you talk back and forth about how you like to do things and different ideas. But he's been around long enough. There's not a ton of pointers going on, but you talk about things as they come up.
You're in the midst of a bunch of games against the West. It used to be the West was considered more physical and the East more skilled at skating. See that change at all over the years, or is it still a bit of a difference?
I don't pay too much attention to it. I think it changes over time. I think that's only natural. For us, we're taking it kind of one game at a time. I do remember coming out here in my earlier years, going out to California, those teams were big and strong, and they were always up at the top of the standings. So it's always a challenge coming out here.
How do you guys build off what you did in Winnipeg and bring it to this game?
Yeah, that was a good start of the road trip, for sure. Good win. We're looking to do the same thing here tonight.
It used to be the West was the physical conference, the East the more skilled conference. You played in the West. Is that true, or has that changed?
I don't know. I think every team is pretty physical these days. I certainly think that it kind of used to be like that. I don't think it's like that anymore, though.
How would you describe your comfort level at this point with the team, with your line?
I feel pretty comfortable. We're still working every day to get better and find our way here with our line, and just try to be a little better every day and every game.
What exactly would you like to improve? Is it an offensive thing, or is it kind of everything?
A little bit of everything. We haven't played that much together yet, so there's always something to work on, and we want to be as good as we can, so we're trying to get better.
How have you said someone like Pierre Engvall is going to be back on the line with you guys? What have you made of his games?
It'll be fun to see him again tonight. He's super fast out there. He's strong in the pucks, and it'll be good to have him back today.
You think special teams are finally finding their rhythm now?
Yeah, special team is always big in games. You can win a game out of special teams. You can lose games. So we need to keep that going and keep getting better at that as well.
First off, tonight's game, how do you guys build off what you did in Winnipeg and bring it to tonight?
I think obviously more of the same. This team is really good in transition. I think we got to make sure we're taking care of pucks in the neutral zone and staying over top of our men, or else these guys can get you.
For years, the West was always deemed to be the more physical conference. You played in both, obviously. Is that still the same?
I don't know. We only play against West teams every so often, right? I feel like the East is, pretty physical, at this point. But I think it kind of changes when guys flip teams year to year. So I couldn't tell you right now. I play a couple more games.
You know as well as anybody how hard it is to stay healthy in this league. What do you think of what Phil Kessel's about to do this week?
Special. It's very special. I think when a player has the ability to play that many games, there's a lot of wear and tear that happens in your body, throughout the year. And for him, how many seasons is that in a row? Probably playing every single game. You guys know?
It started in
2009. Yeah. So, that's a testament to Phil. And how he comes to the rink every day. Only a true professional can play that many games. He's definitely taking care of his body, obviously. If not, there's no way he could be able to do what he's doing today.
Any Kessel memories, like maybe Philly-Pittsburgh battles?
Obviously, playing against Phil, he was chatting him up a little bit, and he always makes you laugh. You don't want to smile, but he always makes you laugh. You can't really help it, that voice of his, right? So, I remember lining up against him a couple times, and last year, I remember he had his daughter just before they came into Toronto, and I was talking to him because I had my daughter not too long before, and we named him the same thing, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Jason's not in the room anymore. How important to have guys like yourself and Kyle in this room now?
Yeah.
Like the veteran go-to guys for anything from advice to good stories to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's big. I think we got a good leadership group here. Obviously, we got John as our captain. Maddie and Mitchie, assistant Mo. But we rely on all of us, to be leaders in this dressing room. And I think that's the way you gotta think about it, because you can't just have one or two guys nowadays. You gotta have everybody pitching in, helping out. So me and Cliff here, just another two voices, to add to the collection.
Would you go and talk to Nick Robertson or whatever, or has he talked to you?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah,
It's that kind of senior guy.
Yeah, obviously, it's like. I think as an older guy, you gotta, be cognizant of what these guys are going through. We were once there too, and it's tough. And I think when you're a younger guy and you hear older guys coming and talking to you, give you like little bits of advice, and not even just about hockey, just about life in general. It helps out a lot.
The coach was saying yesterday that at the start of the season, you guys have been able to win in different ways. It's not all offense. You've been grinding through games. For the early part of the season, that's a little bit surprising. But have you noticed how physical everybody's playing on this team?
Yeah, everybody's grinding. It goes from Maddie to Mitchie, all the way down to the fourth line. And I think those guys up top do a great job of it, Johnny. And it sets the example for everyone else. When the big boys are doing it, how could you not do it as a fourth liner, right? So, they're leading the way, and everyone's just following.
Yesterday you were saying it's a challenge to play in this building, obviously because Vegas is on a roll, but also generally an intimidating building overall.
I don't know if I'd say intimidating. It's exciting to play in, but you've got a good opponent on the other side. Particularly this year, obviously, they're after a good start and are confident and have embraced the change there. And then, the building's loud and it's a great atmosphere and great environment. So you get a lot from the home team. At the same time, I think our guys get excited to play here too. If walking around outside is any indication, there's going to be plenty of Leaf fans here as well, like there was in Winnipeg, and that's always a treat for us too.
You were talking yesterday about the options you have with some of your forwards. If you had your choice, well, you always have your choice. What's the ideal fourth line like for you? Is it physical? Is it offensive? How would the ideally be made up?
Well, unfortunately, we don't live in ideals, so I don't know if I can answer that question that way.
I'm not looking for names. I'm just like what those.
What I'm saying is, I think we're talking. I can't answer the question in terms of ideals, but what I would say is that you need different things at different times over the course of the season. You're not going to get perfect players that are going to play on your fourth line. That's just not the reality of the league. So that's why I find it as a difficult question to answer. There's no perfect fourth line player, I don't think. but you have to embrace the qualities and the players that you do have. And obviously, David Kamp's an extremely valuable player for us. That I don't consider him a fourth line player, quote unquote, or anything like that. He makes players around him better because of his consistency and his reliability. Clifford and Simmonds come in, and those guys give us physicality and presence and energy. And they've been with our group. They've been through a lot with our group, and the connection they have with our players there. When we look at other guys that Obe Kubel's got great speed. He's been through his own experiences with Colorado, and Aston Reese has been a very reliable player, sort of in the Camp mold, throughout his career. So we've got different elements there, and not to mention, the guys that playing with the Marlies and such. Like there's just different options there. You can get different mixes based on the players that you have. I think really what you're looking for, though, is the players that get out on the ice, give you good shifts and win their shift. And winning their shift to me really is about spending time on the offensive side of the red line and setting up things for the rest of their teammates. So no matter what that mix looks like in terms of the personalities of the players, you need them to be able to get on the ice and win shifts.
What did Clifford and Simmonds add in the room, especially with Jason? Not that Jason's not around the team, but
yeah, I mean, it's not really even a lot about what they do. It's just about who they are, if that makes any sense. Like they're not in there with any speeches or anything like that. It's just their presence. They, like I said, they've been through a lot in their careers, but they've been through a lot with our team as well and our organization. So there's history there. They have connections with our players. So having them around, there's a natural morale boost to the group. And then, of course, what they bring on the ice is different and unique to our group too. So you've got all of those things at play. But the rest of our guys that are sort of competing for those spots are new here, and they're going to continue to get comfortable. And over time, they're going to get the same sort of connections. But Simmer and Cliff, their personalities and experiences, they've been around the league a long time and been around our team a long time. They have a leg up in that sense.
Considering how physical this sport is, what sort of appreciation do you have for what Phil Kessel is about to do this week?
Yeah, incredible respect. This is a very tough league and tough sport to play in, both in the physical demands, the travel demands, all those sort of things. Like, players deal with a lot of wear and tear on their body. There's the physical wear and tear, but then there's also the mental part of it too. So to be able to be consistently reliable and available for your team is a very difficult thing to do. It's a skill in and of itself, and obviously Kessel has done. He's been the model for that in this era player and in the history of the game. So it's quite impressive.
Is there another gear you'd like to see the third line take offensively?
Yeah, I think once Engvall finds his game and gets going, I think that's going to really help that line. You'd like to see that, but I mean that's not exactly. I think they have the ability to do that, but it's not. The players that we have playing on the line have the ability to score, but we're not. You're not going to. It wouldn't be fair to expect them every single game to be a team or be a line that's going to have to be counted on for offense. They're complementary offensive players, but they do a lot for our team defensively in terms of matchups, penalty killing, their spot duty on the second unit, power play. Like all of those things are really important for those players for us, and they sort of make that sort of connection from our top six to the bottom six, and very, very important guys for us. But you always want more offense from your depth people, but they've scored. I mean, you look at the one goal that Jarnkrok has was a really important goal for us at the time. Obviously Camp goal that he scored the other night. Those are important goals. You're going to need those contributions from your guys there. But that's not what we're. It's not what I go into every game thinking. We need to get a goal from these guys or something like that. So their mindset needs to be going back to the fourth line is winning shifts, being responsible for our team, and then when the opportunity presents itself, make a play and finish on it. But they're not going to be guys that are going to produce outside of what they've done throughout their career. So we have to be reasonable with that.
Ilya back in that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheldon.